back to my channel. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this amazing, delicious Dominican breakfast called mangu. And it consists of plantains, eggs, salami, and cheese. Let's get started. Alright, so let's begin. You're going to begin by slicing up some onions. You can do red onions like I'm doing right here, or you can use white. I think mangu goes better with red onions, but that's totally up to you. And so I sliced quite a few onions because I was making this breakfast for my boyfriend, my family, and I, but you can slice as many or as little as you like. Then we're going to go ahead and add some vinegar and salt and pickle our onions for about 10 minutes. Next, I'm going to be slicing some Dominican salami. You can use any salami that you like. It doesn't really matter, but I found this one in my supermarket and I really like it. So I'm going to make some slices, some very thin, some thick, because everybody in my family has a different preference when it comes to the size, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's salami, you know? And I make a cut right down the center of the salami so that it can cook evenly on both sides. Next, we're going to be slicing up some cheese. The brand doesn't matter, but you do need to make sure that it says that you can fry the cheese on the label, because I made that mistake once and you do not want to make that mistake of using regular cheese. Next, we're going to be cutting up some plantains, but before we do that, here's a quick tip for you. If you struggle cutting plantains, just place them in a big bowl and soak them in hot water for about 5 minutes. You're going to thank me for this tip later. So we're going to begin cutting the plantains, and we're going to be cutting off the ends and right in the center. Now, a lot of people hate cutting them, but me personally, I find them very satisfying to do. So I'm going to teach you the right way so that you don't struggle cutting yours. So now if you notice, every plantain has I call them backbones, right? So you're going to be making cuts along these backbones, but you're going to make sure that you don't go too deep in, because if you do, you're going to end up slicing your plantain and you don't want to do that. So you're just going to make these cuts straight down the backbones. Now you're going to start putting your finger in through the cuts that you just made, and you're going to start pulling them apart. Because you did soak them in hot water, this step is going to be very easy, and it's not going to take off chunks of your plantains like a lot of people struggle with. Some people like to cook them whole, but I like to cut them right through the center because I feel that it makes the cooking process 100 times faster. So now in medium heat, we're going to begin cooking our plantains, and I usually cook them for about 30 minutes, but you can cook them until they're soft enough where you can mash them up. Don't forget to add in some salt depending on the amount of plantains that you make. I did this off camera. Just make sure you don't add too much salt, because then at the end, your plantains are going to be extremely salty. So now in your pan, you're going to go ahead and add in some oil. And one thing I do want to mention I did off camera was after 10 minutes of your onions soaking in the vinegar and salt, you're going to go ahead and remove the vinegar and salt and wash them out with cold water. So after I did that, I placed them here on this pan, and we're going to begin cooking this until they soften. Next, we're going to be frying our salami. The amount of time that you cook your salami depends on your preference. Some people like it a little darker and a little more cooked, and some people like it a little more raw. So that depends on your liking. So next we're going to be frying our cheese, but one tip I can give you is that you make sure that you lower the temperature of your stove before you place your cheese in, because if you don't, let me tell you, that oil is going to start popping and you're going to get burned. So make sure you do that. Our plantains were finally done cooking after 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do this by chunks, and I'm going to be adding in some of the water that they cooked in butter, and I'm gonna start mashing them up. So you're pretty much going to be repeating these steps until you get the consistency that you want. Some people like it a little more chunky. Some people like it a little more creamy. So that depends on your preference. But you're just going to be adding in the butter and water until you get the consistency that you like. I know this video is full of tips, but here's another tip for you. You want to go ahead and add some cold water to your mangu because that's what's going to help it stay creamier for much longer. So for example, if you wanted to eat it for breakfast the next morning, it's still going to be very soft. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I did. I hope you give it a try because it is very, very delicious. So click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and click the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video. And until next time, don't forget, the secret ingredient to making all these dishes is to make them with love.